sprouts.
I'm going to help you out with the Brussels sprouts. Sounds good to me. We've got Kent Van Dyk here from he's a culinary arts teacher and chef, of course, at Longfields-Davidson Heights Secondary School. I didn't have culinary arts when I was in high school. You guys are lucky. Honestly.
Well, you got to tell them this, because I think they somewhat know how lucky they are, but I don't think they quite appreciate it, especially with an event like this.
Well, I remember when I got to college, I mean, the Culinary Arts Program was big and people were really into it. It was a career now that can take you around the world. You can do amazing things with it. And so these kids are getting a jump start. I think that's amazing, whether they actually end up in a career doing this or not, right?
Exactly. And what it really does is it gives them an opportunity to learn some good cooking techniques and become good consumers and be able to look after themselves, so they're not buying packaged stuff, so they're not cooking for themselves.
They're not afraid of cooking for themselves. And also safety. Food safety, obviously a big priority as well.
Absolutely.
So that's fantastic. You're chopping up, is that a shallot?
I am, because we're going to make a little vinaigrette for this salad that I'm doing.
Well, let's talk about the Food for Thought Gala and what that means while you're doing that.
Okay, so what it is, this is the third annual event that we're doing. When I first got the job at this school, and when I first came to Ottawa, I knew that I wanted to work with local chefs in conjunction with the kids. As much as I think that they learn a lot from me, it's great for them to get an opportunity to see what it's like to be a real chef in a professional kitchen. And
but also different styles, so you're bringing in all these styles.
Exactly, right? Different styles, different personalities. You know, I don't have tons of tattoos up my sleeve, and I'm not young like I used to be, so it's nice for them to get an opportunity to hang out with some people that are a little bit different than me on a daily basis. Plus, they get to see food that they wouldn't normally get to see in our kitchen.
So do you pair them up into teams?
Yeah, so what happens is I'm lucky enough to get a couple of chefs who have generously donated their time to come and help these kids. They come into the school, they each come up with a course. Okay. And then I put 5 or 6 students with each chef, and then they start at like 9 o'clock in the morning on the 30th of January. They prep all day with the chef, and then at the event, we serve the 7-course chef's tasting menu to, I'm hoping, around 100 or 120 guests, and the kids plate the food, and then my grade 11 students, who are the more senior students, serve all the food.
So you're talking about everything from food prep to cooking to kitchen management. I mean, so many things you're learning from this, right?
Exactly, and it's a great out-of-the-box experience for them. I mean, they spend a lot of time with me. I mean, my class in and of itself is sort of out of the box because, you know, they don't sit at a desk and they're up and working all the time. But this is a great opportunity to see what it's like to cook for real paying customers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can, so anyone can buy a ticket to
anybody
this
can
on
come
January
to this,
30th?
Anybody can come to this event, and if you go onto the school's website, which I think we'll have up on your screen, or you can call the school at 843-7722, and they'll hook you through to the lady who will help you out with the tickets.
All right, we got to keep cooking. Let's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, are you willing to give out the theme? Or you don't have to. It's okay. There's a theme to it, just to let you know.
There is a theme, and people might be able to get the theme by what I'm cooking here, but maybe not. So I'm going to give you a little taste of it. Okay. What's happening is that I always find it more interesting. Chefs are incredibly creative people, and I always find it more interesting when they have some limitations, at least some parameters to work with. So what I wanted to do with them is give them something that was a little bit more esoteric. So, you know, we've done Italian before, we've done some other themes for this dinner, but I thought it'd be interesting to have them make something from their childhood, a favorite dish, a favorite memory from their mother, somebody you know, who obviously had a big influence on their cooking.
But there's a twist to it, and we won't give that twist out. We got to leave a little bit of surprise to the students,
a little bit of surprise.
So here we go. You've just put, is that red wine vinegar in there?
A little red wine vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, the shallot. Yeah. Because I'm making a little salad here, and when I was a kid, my mother, who was a fantastic cook, maybe ruined a couple of ingredients for me when I was a child. Okay. So one of them is Brussels sprouts. I'm going to get you to do this if you wouldn't mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the leaves, because I was never a big Brussels sprout fan. They were always sort of olive-colored drab, and they tasted like really...
Me either, and now I love them.
So do I.
Especially when you bake them, they're so good.
So if you can just pull the leaves off. Sure. And break those down. So...
Break them down into...
The small leaves, just like that. That's perfect.
Oh, just like this?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, because I was not a big fan of a lot of these ingredients, I thought that my take on this event would be all the things that I disliked eating as a child and turn them into something that I quite enjoy. That's a good idea.
And I understand you're not a big beet fan.
I don't like beets, but that doesn't mean I've had them properly prepared or to my liking. I'm not sure.
Well, so what I've got here is I've got red beets and golden beets that I've roasted. And
I've never had golden beets.
This will be a new experience for you. So red and golden beets, tossed in a little bit of the vinaigrette, and then we're going to pair it with all these things. So I didn't like rutabaga when I was a kid. My mother boiled it and mashed it.
Right.
I wasn't a big sweet potato fan. The Brussels sprouts weren't great. Beans were never a favorite.
Brussels sprouts were boiled in my family
and
too.
They were turned all olive colored and they were disgusting.
Right.
So I wanted to take all these ingredients and make something fun with it.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. And the Brussels sprouts, when I became a chef, I wanted to use, I was doing a dish and I needed some color for it. I thought to myself, it was the fall, and I thought, oh, I'm going to use some Brussels sprouts. And the reason that I decided that the leaves were the way to go is because I hated the taste of eating a whole Brussels sprout.
Ah, okay.
So I figured if I could just take the leaves apart and give those a little bit of a saute, a little bit of a roast, then they would add the color and the Brussels sprout flavor without eating a whole Brussels sprout, which was part of the thing that I didn't like. So.
In those go to the oven, okay. We're out of time, and unfortunately, but let's say they come out of the oven.
We plate it with this, and then I serve it with a fresh Ontario goat cheese that I get from a friend who's an artisan cheesemaker down in St. Mary's, Ontario.
Very nice. We're going to see the finished product in the next segment.
Yes, you will.
As well. Okay, so we'll check that out. We want to talk more about the Food for Thought Gala coming up January 30th. And you have the information on your screen. You'll be there again in just a few minutes.